This na Dr. Heisey Bowl with another edition of True Say Talk Me. This True Say Talk Me, they can unveil the hope movement to the youths of Sierra Leone to let them know there is hope for them in the future.
My fellow Sierra Leoneans, today I come with a special message of hope to our beloved youths who are going through a difficult phase of hopelessness. Our country is built on the principles of unity, justice, freedom, and peace. These non-negotiable and fundamental rights bind us as one Sierra Leone under the great flag that we love so well, the green, white, and blue. As a strong nation, there is more that binds us together as a neatly weaved mosaic of humanity, diversity of tribes and religions, than divides us. But despite our strength, our pride, values, and faith, politics and political leaders continue to undermine the core of our beliefs, values, and integrity. As Sierra Leoneans, our greatest enemy to progress is the politics of tribalism, regionalism, corruption, greed, selfishness, violence, and hatred that continues to wipe and undermine the fabric of our human dignity, decency, respect for lives and properties, and above all, respect for those with disabilities. To the youths of Sierra Leone, I bring you this message of hope that your tomorrow will be better than your today if you continue to build upon your strengths to be able to lead us in the future. I will break down hope, H-O-P-E, as an acronym for you to understand that a brighter Sierra Leone lies in your hands. The H stands for a health system and all the benefits and vitality that come with it, so that we will be well enough to live and lead a better Sierra Leone. The O is for the opportunities that we will create outside of the political realm to provide jobs, progress, and development to rebuild our economy. The P is for the indelible peace that we will create to make this nation the envy of the world. The E is for an educational system that liberates the mind to build a prosperous Sierra Leone. Youths of Sierra Leone, I want you to join me in this movement of hope for a better Sierra Leone and move away from the destructive path of anger, frustration, division, destruction of properties, prostitution, Kamajo life, and violence that would lead to your death, imprisonment, or being maimed for life. You see, if you practice violence as a youth, you would practice violence as an adult and as a leader. You have to express yourself in ways that do not include violence. I know you're all educated and very bright to understand the work of Mandela, Indira Gandhi, and Martin Luther King Jr. Remember to always seek peaceful and legal means over violence. As youths, I strongly encourage you to be politically conscious and be an integral part for positive change in Sierra Leone. I know you are frustrated because some of you have finished universities and schools with no jobs. Some of you are highly qualified, but because of your name, you don't get the job you deserve. Some of you have jobs, but don't get promoted because you are not a member of the ruling political party. Some of you, by virtue of birth, did not get the educational opportunities you deserve. Some of you have been raised not to believe in yourselves. To some of our female youth, while some of the males are dragged into the bottomless pit of violence and hopelessness, the same failed generation of hopeless politicians seek to abuse your beautiful bodies for their sexual pleasures. I want you to resist all these failed sugar daddies who attempt to drag you into the hopeless life of prostitution. I want you to pivot your life, your beautiful bodies and minds to hope for a better and brighter Sierra Leone. You see, you are the future sweet mothers and grandmothers of Sierra Leone. If you sell your body for money, what will you tell the next generation? Will you be proud to say to your children and grandchildren that you were a prostitute? Will you teach your children to continue the vicious cycle of prostitution? To all the youths of Sierra Leone, I know you are all frustrated, but like many Sierra Leoneans, I believe in you and see the hope of prosperity in your future. You see, as Paulo Freire, the famous Brazilian educator, philosopher, and theorist once stated, and I quote, "All education is with a purpose, and that purpose can only be political, for either we educate to liberate or we educate to dominate." End of quotation. Youths of Sierra Leone, you have been a part of an educational system designed to dominate the masses. The push for violence you're experiencing is part of that failed educational system to dominate. You need to liberate yourselves peacefully from this strangle of an educational system designed to dominate you. You don't have to damage and set buildings on fire to voice your opinions. You don't have to do drugs, pampers, and alcohol to solve your problems. You don't have to be a prostitute to address your sense of helplessness. You don't have to fight and kill each other to be the tough man in the neighborhood. You do not have to denigrate women to think you are a strong man. You see, my generation has failed you the same way my parents' generation failed us. And in Sierra Leone, we have had this vicious cycle of failed generations dragging the next generation down into the pit of hopelessness, and to see politics as the only viable profession and the only avenue for great wealth. In the new Sierra Leone that we will collectively build with hope, you will have the ability to be a successful businesswoman or man. You will have the opportunity to build a new company from scratch and invent new technologies. You will have the opportunity to study in the best universities in Africa right here in Sierra Leone. You would get your dream job based on your qualifications. You would be a respectable civil servant. You would be a professional soldier. You will be an ethical police officer. You would be a student-centered teacher and get paid the salary teachers deserve. You would be a trustworthy accountant. You would be a patient-centered nurse, doctor, or medical practitioner and get paid the salary you deserve. You would be a decent lawyer and above all, a respectable and patriotic Sierra Leonean. In the new Sierra Leone that we would build from hope, all citizens of Sierra Leone will benefit from the net revenue of our God-given natural resources. So to you, the next generation of a brighter Sierra Leone, I say resist all attempts to be used as pawns for the failed lives of our hopeless and corrupt politicians. Look into the heavens. Seek God's guidance. Call upon your Lord Jesus Christ. Call upon Muhammad and Allah to be with you, to give you strength and fortitude to build a brighter Sierra Leone. So let me tell you what some of you may be thinking right now as I speak. Some of you are saying this man of hope, Dr. Haisi Bull, is in the United States of America, where there is an abundance of milk, honey, 24/7 electricity, clean water, amazing infrastructure, endless flow of the US dollars, the best health system, opportunity for the American dream, peaceful coexistence, and an educational system that liberates the mind. Yes, to your thoughts, I say you're all quite correct. But first, let me take this opportunity to apologize to you for how my generation has woefully failed you. Now, let me respond to your thoughts, questions, and concerns. Why I believe that if you choose hope over the present condition, your future would be brighter. You see, because of my 33 years of experience with hope in the United States, I want you to be rest assured that if you give this hope movement a chance, you and your children's children will one day enjoy the same rights and privileges of hope the youths are enjoying in the Western world. So, what is the next step for you? You see, as President Kennedy once stated, and I quote, "Ask not what America can do for you, but ask what you can do for America." So to you, the visionary youths of Sierra Leone, I say, ask not what Sierra Leone can do for you, but ask what you can do for Sierra Leone. The next step for you in this hope movement is to outright denounce all forms of violence and evil and start rebuilding our great nation with peaceful means, one person at a time, one village at a time, one town at a time, one district at a time, one province at a time, one region at a time, and build a Sierra Leone where there is no red Sierra Leone, no green Sierra Leone, but one Sierra Leone that we all love so well. You see, when we come together as one people under God to build the land that we love so well, good things will come our way. So now, let me take you into the future of our new Sierra Leone. I want you to close your eyes and envisage what hope would do for a better and brighter Sierra Leone. Please close your eyes and visualize the amazing beauty of what God has in store for us in Sierra Leone. I want you to see how our collective hope would create a first-class health system that would ensure that you get the best health treatment in Sierra Leone and not in Ghana, India, Dubai, London, or America. I want you to see how our collective hope would provide opportunities to create different avenues for economic growth, wealth, and prosperity outside of the realm of politics, with new businesses, industries, companies, and tourism that will thrive in a 21st century economy. I want you to see how our collective hope would bring lasting peace, unity, happiness that Sierra Leone so desperately needs. See Limbas, Creoles, Fullers, Mendis, Timinis, and all tribes playing and laughing together. See members and leaders of APC, SLPP, NGC, and all other political parties in parliament respecting, laughing, and joking with each other. I want you to see how collective hope will build a free, rigorous, relevant, and accessible educational system that would liberate our minds to create thinkers, doers, and inventors. I want you to see how our collective hope would open our country's natural resources for economic prosperity for all and not for poverty or hopelessness. I want you to see how our collective hope would create a generation of progressive, ethical, and patriotic leaders and not incompetent, self-centered, and myopic leaders. I want you to see how our collective hope would respect the rule of law, free press, human rights, and not a dictatorship, censorship, and suppression of human rights. I want you to see how our collective hope would create a judicial system where the scale of justice is equally distributed. Finally, I want you to see how our collective hope would bring back football, sporting events, watch night parade, intersecondary sports, moonlight picnics, carnivals, and national pastimes with pure love for all and not violence. Now I want you to open your eyes. You see, you are back in the failed Sierra Leone. However, do you now see the blueprint for a new and beautiful Sierra Leone? I hope you do, because I do. You see, we can achieve this dream if and only if we plant the seeds of hope, continue to water it to germinate, and let it grow in our lives. Don't let anyone destroy your hope by destroying you and the country that you have to rebuild as leaders of tomorrow. This is pure foolishness. So to you I say, let peace reign in your life. Believe in hope, the hope for a better and brighter Sierra Leone, where our fundamental rights, based on the principles of freedom, justice, unity, and peace, reign supreme. Be the generation to free Sierra Leone from this political decadence of violence, tribalism, nepotism, and regionalism, and build a nation that the entire world will call the America of Africa. God bless you, and God bless Sierra Leone.